This is the ultimate lesson for intermediate and advanced English learners who need to master the real, native idioms used in meetings, emails, and corporate life. One, expressions related to pens and pencils, writing implements. The pen is mightier than the sword. Written words and communication are more effective than violence or force. Example, don't underestimate the power of a well-written letter. Remember, the pen is mightier than the sword. To put pen to paper, to start writing or begin the process of documenting something. Example, after weeks of brainstorming, it's finally time to put pen to paper and draft the official proposal. To pencil someone in, to make a tentative or provisional booking or appointment. Example, I'm not sure about that time, but I'll pencil you in for Tuesday and confirm the details later. Pencil pusher, a person with a monotonous job that involves a lot of routine paperwork, often slightly derogatory. Slang informal. Example, I don't want to be a boring pencil pusher forever. I need a job with more creative challenges. In the pipeline, in development, being planned, or on the way, often used when waiting for approval or a final sign-off, like the last pen stroke. Example, the new policy changes are still in the pipeline. We won't see them implemented until next quarter. To be set in stone, something that cannot be changed, as if written in permanent ink. Example, no, the meeting time isn't set in stone yet. We can still move it if necessary. To give someone a golden handshake, a generous payment given to an employee upon early retirement or dismissal, as in signing a final, profitable document. Example, after 30 years with the company, the manager received a lucrative golden handshake when the department was restructured. Printer ink is blood, modern slang referring to the high cost of printer ink, something that costs an excessive, unreasonable amount. Example, we can't print that many copies. You know printer ink is blood around here. Use the digital file. Two, expressions related to fasteners and adhesion, paperclips, tape, glue. To stick to your guns, to maintain your position, opinion, or principles despite pressure to change. Example, the director decided to stick to his guns and proceed with the original advertising campaign, even after negative feedback. To be stuck in a rut, to be trapped in a monotonous or dull routine. Example, the team has been stuck in a rut with the same old projects. We need a fresh idea to boost morale. To tape a show, to record a television program, an older expression, but still understood. Example, I won't be home tonight, so I'll need to tape the football game to watch it tomorrow morning. To be taped up, to be fully bound or covered with tape, often implies a secure, temporary fix. Example, we need to ship these boxes carefully. Make sure everything is properly taped up before the courier arrives. The paperclip maxim, a reference to an extreme, single-minded pursuit of a goal, even at the expense of all other priorities. Conceptual, philosophical. Example, his focus on maximizing profits at the expense of employee wellness is a classic example of the paperclip maxim. To glue your eyes to something, to stare intently or watch something without looking away. Example, the new financial report was so important that the executives were gluing their eyes to the data during the entire presentation. The staple diet, the basic, most necessary part of something, referencing a staple food or product. Example, Responding to customer emails and updating the status report are the staple diet of my daily tasks. To be stapled, to be strongly connected or intrinsically linked to a place or object. Slang informal. Example, he's been working here for 20 years. He's practically stapled to his desk. 3. Expressions related to filing and organization, folders, binders, labels. To file a complaint, to formally register an official grievance or objection. Example, if you believe you were treated unfairly, you have the right to file a complaint with Human Resources. To file away, to store something for future reference, often implying that the matter is concluded. Example, the old meeting minutes can be filed away now. We won't need them unless a major dispute arises. To fold on a promise, to give up or fail to keep a promise or commitment. Example, the supplier folded on their promise to deliver the goods by Friday, causing a huge delay in our production. To be bound to be destined or certain to do something, obligated. Example, given his incredible performance this quarter, he's bound to get a promotion next year. To label someone as, to attach a descriptive tag or stereotype to a person. Example, try not to label him as difficult. He just has very high standards for quality assurance. To wear your heart on your sleeve, to openly and visibly express your emotions or feelings as if they were on a label. Example, when the boss criticized her project, she started crying. She really wears her heart on her sleeve. Back burner, something that is postponed or given a low priority for the time being. Example, we had to put the international expansion project on the back burner until we secure the necessary funding. Manila envelope, folder, a term for a confidential or important document, usually involving legal matters. Slang. Example, when the lawyer handed me the manila folder, I knew the negotiation was about to get serious. Four, expressions related to paper and notes, paper, sticky notes, correction fluid. To paper over the cracks, to conceal or hide problems rather than fixing them properly. Example, management tried to paper over the cracks by offering bonuses instead of addressing the fundamental issues with working hours. Paper trail, a series of documents or records that provide evidence of a person's or organization's actions. Example, always keep copies of your expense reports. You need a clear paper trail for the auditors. To get the ball rolling, to start or initiate a process or activity. Often relates to signing the initial paperwork. Example, let's stop talking about it and get the ball rolling on the new marketing strategy this afternoon. To stick with it, to continue doing something despite difficulties, to persevere. Example, this new software is complex, but if you stick with it for another week, you'll master the basics. Off the record, information given confidentially, not to be officially published or quoted. Example, what I'm about to tell you is strictly off the record. It hasn't been announced to the company yet. To correct an error, to right a mistake, to fix something that went wrong. Example, we need an action plan in place immediately to correct the error in the inventory count before the end of the day. To put a stamp on it, to make something official, approved, or finalize a decision. Example, once the board votes on the proposal, they will officially put a stamp on it, and we can proceed. To compare notes, to exchange opinions or information, often in a semi-secretive manner. Example, Before the team meeting, we should all compare notes to ensure we are presenting a unified front. Five, expressions related to tools and miscellaneous: scissors, markers, erasers. To cut corners, to take shortcuts, or do a job carelessly to save time or money. Example: we must deliver a high-quality product. We cannot afford to cut corners on material testing. A cut above, significantly better than the rest. Example: the design team's proposal was truly a cut above the others. It was innovative and professional. To erase the past, to completely move on from, forgive, or forget past mistakes or conflicts. Example: it's time for the two departments to erase the past rivalry and work together as a single unit. To make your mark, to have a significant, lasting effect or achievement. Example: she intends to make her mark on the industry by launching 3 groundbreaking products in her first year. A high water mark, the highest or best level ever achieved. Example: the 40% growth in profits represents a high water mark for the company in the last decade. To rule with an iron fist, to govern or manage with strict, absolute, and often harsh control. Example: the old floor manager used to rule with an iron fist, but the new one encourages a more collaborative environment. To punch the clock, to record arrival and departure times for work, referring to a time clock. Example: I don't just punch the clock, I stay until the job is done, regardless of the time. Highlight reel, a collection of the best or most important moments. Example: let's focus on the key performance indicators. I need the highlight reel of our quarterly achievements for the shareholders. Six, expressions related to calendars and timekeepers. To be on the calendar, to be officially scheduled or planned for a specific date. Example: the annual strategy review is officially on the calendar for the first week of October. To turn the page, to start a new phase or move past a difficult period. Example: after closing the successful funding round, the company is ready to turn the page and focus on expansion. To run out of time, to have no time left to complete a task or meet a deadline. Example: if we don't approve the budget soon, we'll run out of time to launch the product before the holidays. Against the clock, working with great urgency to finish something before a specific deadline. Example: the development team was working against the clock to fix the software bug before the system update went live. To be ahead of schedule, to be completing tasks faster than originally planned. Example: thanks to the new automation tools, the project is currently ahead of schedule by 2 full weeks. Up to date, current, having the latest information or knowledge. Example: please ensure all financial projections are completely up to date before submitting them to the bank. To plan ahead, to prepare for future events or needs. Example: we need to plan ahead for the potential increase in demand during the summer season. To meet a deadline, to finish a task or project by the required time. Example: it was challenging, but we successfully worked late to meet the deadline for the client presentation. Seven, expressions related to boxes and containers, storage. To think outside the box, to think creatively, unconventionally, or from a new perspective. Example: we've tried all the standard solutions. Now it's time to think outside the box to solve this complex problem. To tick all the boxes, to meet all the necessary requirements or criteria. Example: the new candidate's resume truly ticks all the boxes we were looking for in a senior manager. To be in the box seat, to be in an advantageous or superior position. Example: with our competitors facing supply chain issues, we are clearly in the box seat to capture more market share. To file and forget, to deal with something by simply archiving it, often avoiding deeper attention. Example: the intern tends to just file and forget complicated requests instead of escalating them to the correct department. To contain your excitement, to control or hold back a strong positive emotion. Example: the CEO tried to contain his excitement when he announced the record-breaking sales figures. To put something on the shelf, to postpone or discontinue a plan or project indefinitely. Example: due to budget cuts, the virtual reality training program has been put on the shelf until next fiscal year. Skeleton in the closet, cabinet, a shameful secret from the past that a person or organization wishes to keep hidden. Example: the unexpected audit uncovered a few embarrassing skeletons in the company closet from the previous administration. To put all your eggs in one basket, to concentrate all your resources or efforts into one area, thereby risking everything. Example: it's risky to rely solely on one client. You shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. Eight, expressions related to measurement and tools, rulers, compasses, scales. To measure up, to meet a specific standard or quality requirement. Example: unfortunately, the initial test results didn't measure up to the client's expectations for product stability. The rule of thumb, a general principle or widely accepted guideline based on practice, not necessarily scientific or precise. Example: as a rule of thumb, always double-check the figures before sending the final report. To rule out, to eliminate something from consideration or possibility. Example: we can immediately rule out budget constraints as the reason for the delay. It must be a technical issue. To tip the scales, to be the decisive factor that causes a decision or situation to change. Example: the last-minute concession on pricing was enough to tip the scales and win us the major contract. To scale up, to increase the size, volume, or scope of a business or operation. Example: after proving the concept locally, we plan to scale up our operations across the entire region next year. On the level, honest and truthful. Example: I assure you, the figures in this document are completely on the level. There is no hidden data. To square up, to settle a debt or confrontation. Example: the two parties finally agreed to a settlement, allowing them to square up their legal issues. To lose your bearings, to become disoriented or lose your sense of direction or purpose. Example: the sudden departure of the project manager caused the team to lose its bearings for a few weeks. Nine, expressions related to coloring and markings, highlighters, markers, chalk. To cross the line, to go beyond the limits of acceptable or ethical behavior. Example: the competitor's aggressive advertising campaign clearly crossed the line into defamation. To make your mark, to create a lasting impact or significant achievement. Example: the new vice president is determined to make her mark by introducing sustainable practices across the company. To highlight the issue, to bring special attention or emphasis to a problem. Example: The audit report was intended to highlight the issue of excessive spending in the travel department. Chalk and cheese, two things that are completely different from each other. Example, the old management style and the new one are like chalk and cheese. They have nothing in common. Not by a long shot. Definitely not. Not nearly. Often related to a measurement that is far off. Example, did we meet our quarterly goal? Not by a long shot. We were about 20% short. To pass with flying colors, to succeed easily or excellently in a test or challenge. Example, the prototype went through the safety checks and passed with flying colors, receiving immediate approval. To show your true colors, to reveal your real character or intentions, often after a period of concealment. Example, when the merger fell apart, the partner finally showed his true colors by blaming everyone else. Blueprint, a detailed plan or set of instructions. Example, we need a precise blueprint of the entire marketing strategy before we can allocate the final budget. Ten. Expressions related to equipment and machines, shredder, printer, fax. To shred the evidence, to destroy documentation or proof of wrongdoing, a negative connotation. Example, the investigation revealed that key personnel attempted to shred the evidence before the regulators arrived. To be shredded, to be heavily criticized or humiliated in public. Slang. Example, his presentation was absolutely shredded by the finance team, who found major flaws in the data. To print money, to be an extremely profitable and easy source of income. Example, that new mobile game is so popular that the developers are literally printing money from subscriptions alone. To be on the wrong track, to be following a course of action that is likely to lead to failure, opposite of on the right track. Example, if we continue to ignore customer feedback, we are definitely on the wrong track with this service redesign. To fax it in, to perform a task with minimum effort, indicating poor or lazy quality. Slang. Example, the report he submitted was terrible. It looked like he just faxed it in at the last minute. In the works, in the process of being planned or developed, currently being made. Example, the integration of the two systems is in the works and should be completed by the end of the quarter. To be a well-oiled machine, to be an organization or system that runs extremely efficiently and smoothly. Example, since the new management took over, the distribution center has become a well-oiled machine. To pull the plug, to discontinue support for a project or stop an action that is currently underway. Example, the investors decided to pull the plug on the startup when it failed to reach its revenue targets for 3 straight months.